Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. So, I quit drinking alcohol over 1 year ago. 1 year and like 3 days ago officially. How have I done it? No idea. No, I figured I'd just make a video talking about it, I guess. I do want to stress and clarify the fact that this isn't 1 year sober, because I gave up drinking alcohol and then in my head, because I'm a fucking idiot, I thought to myself, oh, it's fine, I'll still do cocaine though, because I need I need a vice to be able to put up with this existence. And the last time I did cocaine was last Easter, so like in a month's time I might do a video that's about, you know, my sobriety journey as a whole, whereas this one is just going to be more focused on alcohol. So I guess I've been sober for technically about, what, 11 or so months, but sober from alcohol for 1 year. So gonna talk about that in this video. I don't know why, just kind of felt like maybe I should. Narcissism, perhaps? I made some bullet points. I'm a lot more productive now. Here's what's good about it. I'm so much more productive. I used to barely upload content before I went sober because I was just always hungover or on a come down or something. Or sometimes I'd do some videos like whilst on a hangover, or sometimes I'd do some videos drunk. And I'm still keeping up those drunk videos. I watched one of them the other day. How bad is that? Like, I'm admitting narcissistically, I watched one of my drunk videos the other day and I was a mess, but I was also pretty funny. I'm keeping it up just because it was funny. Like, do what I want. My body, my channel. It's being needlessly aggressive like 2 minutes into this video. Brilliant. But I couldn't be as productive before because I just didn't have like the mental fortitude to do so, because I felt like shit all of the time. And then as soon as I got to a place where I was feeling okay, i.e. the drugs and the hangover had worn off, I would then go out and get really drunk, and it was just a constant never-ending cycle. I do feel that my productivity levels have increased like exponentially over the past year. I'm constantly doing something, which is just, it's nice. I feel like as humans we kind of need to be being productive, and I don't just mean like working in an office environment 40 hours a week, fluorescent lights killing you. I mean just having some sort of creative outlet or whatnot. So yeah, productivity, astronomical. I don't think my channel would have grown to this extent if I was still drinking. Like, no fucking way. I definitely wouldn't be doing regular videos. I think I barely even did one video a week before because I couldn't hack it. I'm a lot happier. I'm so much more happier. My moods are so stable. I'm still a crazy bitch with like, you know, moods that fluctuate up and down depending on whether I'm like hungry or angry. But I feel much more content with, not with my lot in life, because I feel like I'm striving for a lot more now and actually trying to get somewhere with my life. But I'm so much happier. I thought all that time ago that I was happy, but I wasn't. I was just drunk or on drugs. I wasn't happy at all. I was just drinking to get out of my own head for like 8 to 10 hours at a time or whatever. Whereas now I'm a lot sillier than before, but I feel as though this is really me. Like, happy and silly and up for much more of a laugh. Like, my banter has changed a bit as well. So I feel like I've always been a bit jokey, but sometimes it erred on the side of being a bit mean, being like, oh, it's just banter though. Whereas now I'm not really like, that's kind of gone. I think I just engaged in mean banter to try to distract from the pain of existence and the pain of the perpetual hangover. So I'm a lot happier. I feel a lot more responsible for my own life. I think before I was more too happy to just drift in and out, not really have clear, tangible goals, or I would have goals and not do anything to work towards them. Like, I wanted to do stand-up comedy, but then I would never work towards that, and like the crippling kind of dissociative anxiety I would get after like barely sleeping and like doing too many drugs or whatever prevented me from taking the steps to trying to do those types of things. Whereas now, if I want something, then I will actively work towards it and always be on the go, and I've got to be responsible for my own life. You cannot wait for someone else to take responsibility of your life. It's not the way to do it. You've got to take control yourself and just fucking do it and just do things and have some. I have drive now, which I'm not sure if I've ever had. When I was younger, I always wanted to be like a comedian or a writer or an entertainer of some sort, but never would take the steps to do it. Just go get drunk instead. Get drunk and talk about how great I was, but not actually do anything to try to get to that next level. So responsibility, definitely something I feel more now. I might be the only one who thinks this, but I think I look better. Like, I think I just look healthier now. I think before, because the amount I was drinking and the sleepless nights I would have, my skills are great. My skin was rather dull and dry. It's a bit dry at the moment because I keep using retinol, which is like some crazy anti-wrinkle stuff. Oh, all those nights probably contributed to like me getting some wrinkles, which now I have to rectify by being like healthy and shit. So annoying. But I definitely looked much more bloated. My face was bloated, and my eyes. I just feel, looking back in older pictures of me, like sometimes my eyes look kind of bloodshot, but there just wasn't like that vivacity. That's, I'm sure there's a French word that could describe. I'm not even gonna try to speak French. See, this is what I mean. Like this silliness, a zest for life that just wasn't really like there before. Just going through the motions before, but now I just want to grab life and punch it in its nuts for giving birth to me in the first place. I exercise way more, and I actually really enjoy it. This lockdown at the moment is, I'm gutted. Can't go to the gym. Like, what am I gonna do? I have to do a home workout. I really enjoy exercising now. That natural endorphin high, so much cleaner than a drug high. It's good fun. It's nice to work on yourself. What brilliant advice. I've decided, right, I want to become a philosopher like Kanye West. But I've come out with that. It's nice to work on yourself. Easy 2020. Some people do say to me when I say, oh, I quit drinking and all that, they will say, oh, you must save loads of money then. No, you just find other stuff to spend your money on, like skincare for the aforementioned wrinkle problem, or Uber Eats. I mean, I get a lot of vegan cake on Uber Eats, and if it's vegan, can it really be that bad for you? Yes, it can. It's not made of lettuce and carrots. I lost weight, but very slowly. I think when I quit drinking, I initially maybe lost a few pounds, but then I stabilised at like a bit of a bigger weight than this, because I kind of replaced the drinking with like eating kind of junky. I still eat a bit junky now, but but I've gradually been losing weight over the past few months because like I've really kicked in with the exercise. You should try to not transfer one thing for another. So if you're giving up alcohol, you shouldn't really supplement that by like eating loads of cake instead. But then at the same time, my justification would be, I'm not getting fucked up on drugs. I'm gonna have a bit of cake. And sometimes I do think that. Like I still think that now, but just not all the time. Like from the beginning of this year till now, I've lost weight. I think I've lost about 10 pounds and I feel pretty good. There's still areas I need to work on, but I'm feeling like pretty good. I'm really feeling myself for the first time in a long time. So when I was in my early 20s, I actually gave up drinking for almost 2 years because it was out of control. But I still did drugs in that time. Hence why I thought I could do the same thing this time round. Doesn't work. If you're going to do it, it's all or nothing. Like, do it properly. Don't be like, oh, I won't have wine, but I'll have a cheeky bag of Coke. Just don't. It doesn't work. So when I was younger, like I'd just go out and do loads of MDMA. Not the best of ideas. Or do a bunch of Coke or whatever. And now, as it's like stone cold sobriety, I would kind of get a little bit overwhelmed by it and think to myself, how the fuck am I going to do this? How am I going to live a life of full sobriety without having any sort of vice? But actually, it's really fun. I enjoy everything so much more now. There's like a deeper level. The little things, like reading a book, like writing a story, like making videos, like exercising, or just being around friends. I can be around my mates and they're drinking, like it doesn't bother me, it's absolutely fine. The first 6 months there still was that kind of voice of being like, why me? This is so unfair, blah blah blah, like a whiny little voice. Yes, maybe it's a bit unfair that my brain chemistry literally stops me from being able to enjoy a glass of wine without wanting to drink the whole bottle and like do loads of gear. But at the same time, I just kind of see it now as, well, that's the hand the universe has dealt me. So what? Like, so fucking what? Just deal with it. So I have dealt with it and I love it now. I do still obviously have my bad days where I think, oh, I'd love to bloody get drunk. But then I just introspect on, well, why am I feeling that in this moment? Because it's not about the... Drinking alcohol stopped being fun for a long time before I finally gave it up. Like, I started having breakdowns and panic attacks whilst drunk about, you know, my mortality and stuff. Yeah, the nice disassociation stuff. Like, I was kind of self-medicating alcohol to deal with my inevitable death, just to get this video like really cheery, which is something I've struggled with since the age of 6 years old. And I also have something called dissociation disorder, and I was kind of using alcohol to sort of terribly self-medicate that. Hey, guess what? Doesn't fucking work. It just hits you even harder with the hangover. Alcohol had stopped being fun for a very, very long time before I finally gave it up. So when I have those moments where I feel like, oh, I really want to get drunk now, I just have to sit with it. I don't fight it, I just sit with it and go, okay, well, why do we feel like that? Usually it's because there's something up with me that day that makes me want to get out of my own head for 8 hours. To me, like, alcohol was just escapism. It was a reprieve from living with, like, my brain. Because on one hand, yeah, it's kind of fun, like, having my stupid eccentric personality, but on the other hand, like, it is difficult. It's difficult to carry this idiot persona all throughout my life, do you know what I mean? I really got sidetracked, I think. That happens all the time, just get fucking sidetracked. But I'm at a stage where I like me. Probably a very arrogant and narcissistic thing to say. I thought I liked me before, but I didn't. I couldn't really stand me. I like me now. I like being this person and, you know, having the friends that I do. My relationships with people, with the closest people in my life, also changed. Like, they say the good thing about sobriety is your emotions come back. The bad thing about sobriety is your emotions come back. I thought I was an emotionless, slightly sociopathic husk for a long time, but actually I do care really deeply about people. Like, the closest people in my life I have like really, really intense bonds with, and I love that. It's just kind of so pure and wholesome. It's much nicer being like this and confronting my emotions and being like, yeah, I kind of do need people, because before I'd be on rages all the time and be like, I don't fucking need anyone, I just do cocaine by myself. Which is just dark, man, you know? I feel like, people may disagree, but I feel like I've become nicer and more considerate of a person. And less snappy. I used to be like really, really, really snappy before. I still get like that if I'm hungry, but much less so. And I don't really hold grudges anymore either. Because ultimately, if you're holding a grudge against someone, that other person probably doesn't know that you're doing that, so you're just really fucking yourself over, right? I find it so much easier to let go of negative emotions now. Got into a bit of an argument with one of my friends the other day. They said something and it really just, it missed the mark with me. It was before 12, I hadn't had any coffee, so I snapped and I was being like really quite mean, and it was a bit of an overreaction to what they had said. And then I went and had my coffee, and 30 minutes later I texted them back being like, yo man, I'm so sorry. I was being a bitch. They were like, no, I'm sorry as well. And we resolved it instantly. Whereas if that'd been me over a year ago, I would have kept that shit going for a week. I find it so much easier to just let things go and be nicer and try to be better, like, for myself. People will say stuff to me like, oh, but don't you miss it though? And it's like, well, what am I missing? I've never needed alcohol as a social lubricant because I'm naturally extroverted. My friends would actually attest to the fact that in real life, I'm worse than this. I tone myself down for videos because I don't want to come across as a complete idiot. But in real life, I'm way more hyper and stupid. And like, oh my God, NASA are made of it. Like, ridiculous, you know? So when I would drink, it would be to have a false sense of fun. And it would be to get away from my own brain. So if I was to miss that, what am I actually missing? Like, being away from my own head? I mean, maybe sometimes I miss it, but it's not for the reasons that you would think. And if I do miss it, it's only because I've got something going on that I want to step out of, but now I have to be responsible for my own life and deal with my problems head on. Because that's the thing about drinking or doing drugs. Your problems are still going to be there on the other side of that high, on the other side of that hangover. But you're going to be less equipped to deal with those problems because you're in a weird headspace, because your brain chemistry is all fucked. Because of the stuff that you've ingested and put into your body, you know? And then sometimes some people do say to me, oh, do you think you'll never drink again? And relapse is a part of recovery, but I honestly hope it never happens because I like me now. I didn't like me back then. I was a little cunt back then, as far as I'm concerned. I was a bit of a cunt. And I like being nicer and more considerate now. and more fun and more silly, and I don't take myself seriously at all. I think I used to take, I should be saying this for like the sobriety video in a month's time, but when I was on cocaine, I kind of took myself, like, I was a weird mix of taking myself seriously but also treating things as a joke. It was just a very like super egoic mix of bullshit. Like, I kind of thought that I was the shit when the reality of it was I was just a knobhead cokehead talking bullshit. That's not something to miss. That's not something I want to be. I want to distance myself from that part of me. There's always going to be a part of me. It's always going to be there. But my responsibility is to tell that little part of me to, you know, fuck off and grow up, essentially. Anyway, I think that'll do for this video because I think that I've just been rambling about nothing. No one's going to find this interesting. No one cares, mate. Just doing it for my own narcissistic needs. Kind of, not really. I hope you enjoyed this video though. I will do like a proper sobriety video in a month's time when it's like that year. But yes, I've gone a whole bloody year without drinking. And it's pretty fucking sweet. It was really difficult for the first 6 months, but then something, I just need to add, something did mentally change within the past 4 months for me. Something just, a switch went off in my head where it was like, this isn't difficult anymore. This is actually really fun and I like this and I look forward to getting up and doing stuff and not being in a constant haze of, oh, what's going on? Has anyone got like any more coke, you know? If you enjoyed this video, do remember to like, comment, subscribe. I make new videos whenever I feel like it, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!